Hello. So I got a really exciting delivery today. Well, exciting for me anyway. I always know it's going to be a good day when a box this size comes from Space NK, which for those of you who don't know is an amazing shop that just does all things beauty, makeup, skincare, hair, a lot of hair care now. And they've just opened a shop in Tunbridge Wells, which is lovely, and you should go over. And a few times a year they do gift with purchases, and they do a spring goodie bag, and they do an autumn one, they do a Christmas one. I can't remember whether they do a summer one. And this time round it was a £175 spend, and then the goodie bag is worth over £400. I haven't actually opened it yet, it's in the box. So I'm going to have a look at that a little bit later on another video. But anyway, so what I normally do is kind of save up the things I know I need, stroke want, and then buy them when the gift with purchase comes out, because obviously it's quite a lot to spend, although it doesn't take much with Space NK. So I wanted to do a makeup look with all the products that I've got. I'm going to have to use a couple that I've bought in the past from Space NK, or in fact they've all been available at Space NK, so that's fine. But I'm going to just start off with a primer. I haven't even opened it yet. So I love Becca products, particularly their Shimmering Skin Perfector, which I'm going to use, which is their highlighter. So this is their First Light priming filter, and it's a slightly purple. I've used it before. I've had a sample before in one of the goodie bags. It's a purple liquid, and what it does is it just really brightens the skin. So I've got my new dressing table. I haven't had a dressing table since I lived with my mum a lot of years ago, maybe 15 years ago, and I saved up and got myself a dressing table. But I also bought myself a simple human mirror, which they're incredible. But the downside is the one I've got is a 5 times magnification. It's frightening. This is it. I won't turn it around all the way, but it's got a sensor at the top. So when you come near it, it lights up, which is brilliant, and it is portable as well and rechargeable. But looking at yourself in this mirror is slightly scary. Although what it does mean is when you do your makeup and it looks okay in this mirror, when you look in a normal mirror, you look fabulous. Anyway, okay, so I put that primer on, so it's just given a bit of a glow and a brighten to my skin. Then I've got this. This is possibly the most expensive foundation in the world. No, it probably isn't, but it's certainly the most expensive foundation I've ever bought, and it's the By Terry Eclat Opulent. It is an eye-watering £105, but I did sample it in store, and it's lovely. I really like to apply it with, this is a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and then I sort of, where I need it, I do a bit of patting with my fingers. So I have got the shade Nude Radiance, and basically it just gives a really nice soft focus finish. I'm just going to move it because just tell I'm going to knock it flying. A really nice soft focus finish. It blurs the pores. It smells as everything By Terry does, of roses. So if you really don't like scented products, this is probably not for you, although it does fade. It doesn't smell all day. And you really don't need a huge amount of it. It doesn't oxidize, so it doesn't go kind of orangey after a few hours, which is fab. And it literally lasts all day. I had it on without a primer. You don't really need a primer with this unless you want to use like a radiance primer, or you know, something that's going to do a particular job with your skin. You don't need one to just kind of hold it on your face, like with some foundations. But literally I put it on at 7 in the morning, and when I took it off at about 10 o'clock at night, it was still perfect. Normally I find with my foundation it starts to break down around my nose. Sometimes it goes in just this side of my nose into the creases, breaks down around my chin area, but this one, not at all. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm just going to go in and just do a second layer just with fingers. The only thing I don't like about this foundation is the packaging. So it's in a glass bottle, which is lovely, or jar, but it's just not particularly hygienic. So you need a spatula, which is fine, but it's just, I just think it's just not brilliant. And also, if you did, I mean, it's nice having a glass jar. It's nice. Feels weighty, it feels expensive, but crack, if you dropped it on your bathroom floor, you'd be pretty irritated because of the price of it. So yeah, I think I'd prefer it in a pump. I mean, I guess the good thing with a glass jar is you can get all the product out, which is the problem with some dispensers, and you certainly do want to get all the product out if you've spent this much. But yeah, okay, so I've just got my second layer there, and even in my magnifying mirror, it hasn't sunk into any pores. It's not kind of crusty anywhere. It's just a really beautiful finish. Okay, so next up, I'm going to use concealer. Now, I didn't buy a concealer. Ooh, I've lost everything because I've just moved things around. I'm actually going to use something that you can't buy at Space NK, I'm afraid, just for a concealer. So this is MAC Select Moisture Cover NW15. Just going to dot here. Got a couple of blemishes. I had some, well, I don't really know if they are milia because they're really deep under the skin. I just get them on my forehead sometimes. But they're, it's just rock hard kind of, well, whatever it is, fatty deposit. And I've given up chocolate for Lent, so one would have thought I wouldn't be getting fatty deposits, for goodness sake. Although, to be fair, I haven't given up cake. Never give up cake. So I'm just going to go right under my eyes, just get rid of that purple tone. I have like a purple eyeliner under my eyes. And then just the outer corners where I'm a bit red. And then just with what's left on the brush, just around my nose, put that in. And then I'm just going to go in to my forehead. And just pat gently. Right, okay. So I'm going to use the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. This is a one I got in a little kit for Christmas. And my lovely husband bought me, and you could buy this in Space NK, and they obviously do the full size product. And I'm using the Real Technique setting brush, and I'm using a small brush just so that I can get into the nooks and crannies. So I'm quite deep set just under my eyes, so I like a small brush just so I can get right under there. And I don't like to use too much powder either. I don't like a powdery look. So just setting concealer, eyes, and around my nose. And I might come back and add a bit more powder if I feel I need it. But actually this this foundation doesn't allow too much oil through, so it's brilliant. Okay, so for eyes, I'm going to use a By Terry eye palette that I actually picked up in TK Maxx, and it was originally, I think it was £38, and I had my eye on it for ages, but because it's a bit niche colours, I didn't buy it, and then I saw it in TK Maxx for £12.99, so I of course bought it. So it's these lovely pastels, which are fab for spring, and actually they're just, well, they're just really pretty, and I actually just like to sit and look at it. So I'm just going to use the pink just here, the matte pink, and I'm just going to do a wash of colour just to 2/3 of the way. So I'm just stopping here, and then I'm just going to use a MAC 217 fluffy blending brush just to blend those edges. The payoff's pretty good with these. They're not the best I've ever used, but they're not, you know, they're not bad. And actually, these colours aren't always easy to find, so it's quite nice to have them in one palette. The only thing is, because they're so small, the pans are so small, and in the middle of each pan they've got the similar shade but a glittery hue, and slightly darker, so actually you've got to use a really small brush to pick up this outside colour, and it does need a few layers just to pack that pigment on. Okay, then in the outer corner I'm just going to go for a bit of the matte purple, just to kind of transition from the pink. I don't know why I'm feeling so spring-like. The weather's absolutely hideous. We've got storms and rain and wind. Felt like my a big window behind me was going to come crashing in the other night. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend those colours together. And then I'm just going to use a bit of this darker purple. It has got glitter in, but it's not so glittery that you can't use it into the crease. It doesn't really appear glittery. Okie doke. And just blending that. So the only thing about having my dressing table here, which was the only place to put it in the bedroom, is it's quite dark, which the mirror helps, but I've also got my sad lamp shining straight at me. Any of you who've seen them will know they're super duper bright, just to give me a bit more light in the winter time, and it's slightly blinding at the moment. Okay, so eyeliner, I'm just going to use the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner, and it's a violet colour. What's it called? Intense Amethyst, and it's got a really nice point to it there, so it's quite easy to use. I only want to do a really thin line. I'm not actually doing a shape with it at all. Just want to line the upper lid. So I'm going to do the other one, and I'm also going to do my brows, which you've seen me do before, and then I'm going to come back. I'm back again, and weirdly it's about 3 days later. So basically I filmed the rest of this video and then discovered that I hadn't actually filmed it, which is really helpful. So I've basically done exactly what I did in the first part of the video, and I'm going to complete the rest now. So mascara, I bought this Kevyn Aucoin, the volume mascara, which I've heard loads and loads about. It's got a really nice tiny wand, so brilliant for getting those small hairs at the corners of your eyes and lower lashes. I wouldn't say it's given me any extra volume. I don't think it's given me any more than other mascaras. It's a nice mascara, but I have to say I always go back to my Max Factor Masterpiece Max, and I just haven't found anything better than that. Although if anyone has any recommendations, that would be great. But you know, I've tried quite a lot. NARS Climax is great, but I wouldn't say any better. YSL False Effect Lash is lovely for evenings, but I wouldn't wear it for day. It's quite wet. But yeah, so if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. So next I'm going to do cheeks, and I'm going to use this Kevyn Aucoin, the sculpting powder. This is the light shade. I really love these because they're quite grey toned, so I think often people use too warm of a shade. They use like a bronzer for contouring, and actually a natural shadow would be a lot more cool toned. I'm not going to use very much, just because with the blusher I'm going to use, too much contouring just doesn't really suit it. but I am just going to do a little bit. So top of the ear towards the corner of the mouth, but stopping level with about the outer corner of the eye. And I'm just going to stroke lightly and kind of blend up. I don't want to blend down because I don't want a brown splodge. But equally I don't want kind of a really harsh line. And this is the MAC 138. 138 I think. The numbers coming off it. I like it because it's quite big and fluffy, but at the same time it's got a bit of a taper, so you can kind of create, you know, it's not going to just create a big circle. Okay, so next I'm going to use something which has been discontinued. I did get it from Space NK. It's the By Terry Rose to Rose liquid blush, and this is my holy grail liquid blush. It's so beautiful, and whenever I wear it I get compliments on it, and I'm so upset they've discontinued it. I've got, crikey, I've got less than half a pot left. So it's quite shimmery, it's got a bit of highlight in, but it doesn't look glittery and cheap. It just gives you a healthy glow, and because it's a liquid it really sits with your skin rather than on top of it, as I find a lot of powders do. So this is a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, so I like having a few of these. I just really like the density of the bristles, and this one for some reason is slightly less splayed than my other one, which is why I use that one for foundation, and I'll keep this one for blusher. It's a little bit more concentrated. So concentrating on the apples of the cheeks and then just sweeping up and out. And then I'm just going to blend the edges with my foundation brush just to make sure I haven't got any sharp edges. And then I'm going to go in with my favourite Holy Grail liquid highlighter. You can see I've nearly finished it. This is Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl. I've tried so many powder highlighters and I just don't like them. I just think they look like there's something sitting on your skin, which is, I just don't like that look. Although again, if anyone has any recommendations, I'd be interested to try them. So this has no glitter, it's just a sheen, which is what I love. I also love, if you're warmer skin toned, I mean the Becca they do in different colours anyway, but MAC cream colour base in Hush is lovely. It's more of a thick cream than a liquid, but that's really beautiful. It's more of like a peachy shade. And the other one I really like, which is more glossy, is the Tom Ford Illuminate from the Shade and Illuminate palette, but sadly they don't sell it on its own. But it is a nice cream contour, but if you're very fair it probably wouldn't be good for you. Okay, so that's cheeks done. So you can see that it's just quite a lovely glossy glow there with no kind of chunks of glitter. And so finally lips. I feel like I should use more of kind of a pinky lip gloss, but I also really want to try to use this Chantecaille because it's just so gorgeous, and you see the crystals on the outside. It's so beautiful. So I'm just going to use this, and I might pop a bit of the gloss over the top. So it looks really orange. When it goes on, it isn't. This is the shade Citrine. They also have a red and a more vibrant, like a raspberry pink. And it's comfy. It lasts well, super beautiful, and for every one of these lipsticks that you buy, Chantecaille organised for a tree to be planted, which is great. And what I really love is this magnetic snap, which makes me happy. So as you can see, sorry the lights, as you can see it looks quite glossy, which is kind of the shimmer in it. I'm just going to pop on a bit of this over the top, which is super sparkly. This is Lipstick Queen Altered Universe Lip Gloss in Asteroid, and it's just gonna make the colour that bit cooler, just to tie in with the eyes, because this is kind of like a pinky purple. Okay, so that is the finished look. I'm sorry the light isn't amazing. I might just take you into my bathroom and show you in there. Okay, so you can see much better in here. Apologies for being in my bathroom. But you can really see the really nice glow that the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector gives on the cheeks, and just that really nice kind of subtle hint of colour that the By Terry liquid blush gives, and the finish on the foundation, which is really beautiful. And this, by the way, nail varnish is the Chantecaille in the same collection as the Lip Crystal. It's the Nova, what's it called? Celestial Sheer Nail Colour, something like that. It's the new one, and this is Nova, so it's kind of a pinky, sort of goldy, shimmery, pearly look, but it's pretty and it's really quick to put on. So anyway, hope you like this, and as I said, if anyone's got any recommendations for really good mascaras that I should try, or powder highlighters, I would be very interested to try them. See you next time.